Saturday, the 28th of May, 2022, Scruffy Murphy's in Birmingham, 7 p.m. Be there. The Chronicles of Podcast. Live. Tickets on sale now. Go to www.ctickets.com.
It's about getting into schools and talking to young people because, you know, I know that people can change. And it's about talking to people and getting them to understand and perhaps step back from violence and prejudice and whatever. And we just need to work together and keep on the good fight there.
Absolutely. Hey there, guys. We are ecstatically happy to announce that we are associated with the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
The times are changing, and with the unfortunate death of Sophie, those changes have made a massive impact for the future. If Sophie was with us still today, I can guarantee what you are doing will still be reaching so many lives of young teenagers, young adults, and those who wish to be as different as possible. So thank you very much.
To find out more about this incredible foundation and all the work they do, and more importantly, how you can help, head on over to www.sophielancasterfoundation.com.
Hi, it's Rob from Neptune Rain, and you're listening to the Chronicles of Podcast with Jamie and Tom.
Oh, Jamie.
Hi.
We're back again, aren't we?
We are.
I know how people absolutely love it. Every Friday, 6 p.m, they go, TCO Pod's back. So, guys, you know what to do, don't you? I know Claire sat there and getting a little excited, getting a little giddy, getting a little kind of, and everybody else as well is sat there going, come on, Tom. Come on, give it to us. So, get that right hand up. And here comes the left. And welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast. It's the 41st edition. And Jamie, I believe for the 41st edition of the Chronicles of Podcast, we are talking to the wonderful members of Neptune Rain.
We are indeed.
Who are lovingly and passionately playing our live show on May 28th. So, shall we get this show back on the road?
Oh, definitely.
Good, because I'm really enjoying driving. Hit it! Jamie.
Yes, sir.
The piece is here, but 4 of them haven't turned up.
Ah.
So we've just got the one.
That's fine. It's a
damn
right? Good. It's a damn good piece. It's fine.
Wonderful. Welcome to the Chronicles of Neptune Rain. Neptune Rain, a band based in, well, I say based in Cheltenham. They're based all over the fucking country and other countries as well. They're a wonderful 5-piece that are just one of the biggest bands, I think, to come over the next coming years. And luckily, we had the pleasure to sit down with Rob Knight, the bassist from the band.
It's an incredible conversation, and it's safe to say these are going to be huge one day. Like, they've been played on Radio 1 at the minute. Tom is literally obsessed. So, you know, that always helps.
I just think they're fantastic. They're so fresh sounding, like I said. It's just like they've taken 2000s new metal and thrown it into 2020 and gone, we'll make our own version of this. It's just great. I just think there's big things coming for him. I really do.
Absolutely. And Rob is a great person to sit down to. He told the story for all 5 members of the band, which I thought was amazing. His knowledge and everything that goes on within that band is incredible. And it shows how much work they've put into this band because, as Tom just said, they're all over the fucking country. And the fact they come together and create such incredible music. This is a great conversation. And guys, if you are coming to our show on May 28th, you're going to love seeing this band live because, as we just said, they're incredible and it's going to be amazing.
Please go and check out Chaos and Light. It's available on Spotify. They are also on YouTube. And you can also check them out on social media where you can watch Kieran covering some absolutely incredible tracks. They have been doing a stellar job, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing them on May 28th. This conversation is so much fun. Rob, like Jamie just said, so knowledgeable in the ways of Neptune Rain, so knowledgeable in the ways of all the other members as well. So it was an absolute pleasure. We understand, guys. You didn't want to join us. It's absolutely fine. We know. We get it. Don't worry. We hear you. We see what's going on. It's absolutely fine. No, I'm just joking. But yes, this is one not to be missed. Get your tickets for May 28th right fucking now.
Right now.
Jamie!
Yes, sir.
Any final words at all?
Just a massive thank you to Rob. Really appreciate you coming on. And as people are going to enjoy this one because it's a glorious conversation.
It's great. Rob, thank you so much, man, for taking the time out to sit down and talk to us. Neptune Rain, boys, thank you so much for coming to do our show, play our show with us in a couple of weeks. We literally cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. Guys, enjoy this interview. It's a fucking doozy. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, interviewing this week, the bassist from the band Neptune Rain. They are from all over the fucking place. It's Rob Knight.
So I'm so far away.
I was going to say, it's just like the room consumes you.
I know. Yeah, it looks a bit weird at the moment as well because I'm currently in the process of building a wardrobe. Like, this is usually my music room, so I've usually got guitars and stuff behind me, but it's all a bit sort of moving at the moment. But yeah, the reason why I'm so far away is I've got like 2 monitors up there. So
what? Is it on the wall?
Pretty much, yeah. So I've got like a music desk. In fact, if I can take this off, I might be able to show you.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, room tour. We love a room tour.
Let's do it. Let's do this. It's only got so much cable, but you can sort of see, got my keyboard there. It's you.
Oh, it's me.
Hey, you. So yeah, work in progress, but it's going to be like my music desk. So yeah, it's all good at the moment.
Oh, sweet.
So how are you two?
Yeah, that's bad. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I realised that the other boys were like, "You can talk to them, will you?" Yeah, I'm not interested, thanks. So, do you know what, Rob? Just do it yourself, all right? And we'll just see you later. So,
No
you know, we fully understand. We hear you, right? We hear you. Saturday 28th. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely bang. It's gonna be so much fun. We have never podded live ever. We've never put a show on before. We've never done anything of the sort. So it's gonna be quite interesting.
I'll say you're smashing it so far. I don't want to put pressure on, but you guys are smashing it so far. Like all the publicity, the bands sound really cool. Like I'm really buzzing for it.
Love it.
I am loving the backdrops as well, guys. That's cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's I feel like I'm letting the side down with my sort of.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! You are not letting any side down, Rob. We still appreciate the fact that you've still joined us and that you're still willing to sit here and chat to us for the next hour and a bit. So, yeah, it's thoroughly appreciated. We're very excited to delve into all things Neptune Rain and music and everything else. So it's going to be good fun. Basically, what happens is Jamie will start off with where he'll do a nice little introduction and it like lures you into a false sense of security. So you feel quite comfortable and calm and this is going to be all right. And then what happens, Rob, is we absolutely bombard the living shit out of you with questions. All right.
Brilliant. Sounds fun.
Wonderful. Jamie, please, as you were, sir.
Let me introduce. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, on May 28th, we are hosting a live show in aid of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. And joining us that day are 4 excellent bands. And today's guest is from a group that we know we needed from the moment we heard them. Joining us today is bass player Rob Knight, because these are the Chronicles of Neptune Rain.
Hey, guys.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure. Like I said, thank you so much. We really appreciate you still coming, even though the other guys just literally were like, nah, can't be fucked.
I'm sure that wasn't going through their heads.
No, I know. I was joking.
No, it's an honor. I'm really, really pleased to be here. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm kind of a bit nervous, actually, but
Why?
I'm excited. I don't know. I think it's the build up was so big, and like I suddenly feel like we're kind of been lifted to this important platform now. So I'm going to be like, okay, but no, it'd be good fun.
So first things first, then we'll start with the really hard hitting, the really nitty gritty shit, and that is, how was the last 2 years been for you?
Crazy. I mean, I imagine probably everyone would answer the same question in a similar way, so that's a similar sort of words, but it's just been all over the place. I mean, obviously lockdown and COVID was just a big thing across the whole music industry, and it just had huge impact, and we really were struggling to adapt, I think, initially. Like we were sort of trying things, and some things were working and some things weren't. Some things worked for a while and then didn't work so well afterwards. So lots of sort of just trying to adapt and just kind of stopping, reevaluating. Like we had a lot of Zoom meetings, just pretty much every other week, just sort of going, all right, where are we? Is this where we want to be? You know, do we change this? Do we keep this going? So there's lots of that. Still is, to be honest.
Now, and on a personal level, everything all good? Yeah, everything okay?
Yeah, not bad at all. It's I say again, like I think it's probably be the same for a lot of bands, if they're completely honest, but like it does sort of test you as a band as well, because obviously you're not always in the same room together, and there have been times where we've spent a lot of time together and it's almost been too much, and then there have been times where we haven't spent enough time, we kind of lose track of things. So it's just trying to find that balance, and kind of I think when we've really hit our spot, it's gone really, really well, and when we sort of things gone a little bit off, then we struggled, but you know, it's like anything, it's a roller coaster. You have your ups and downs.
We managed to get like band practices. I know some bands are doing like band practice over Zoom and things like that.
Yeah, I mean that's been a difficult thing as well, especially actually now that we're a 5-piece. I think initially with the sort of like the three of us, and it was fine, but it just didn't feel the same without a drummer. And now we've got Joe. It's really, really good. But then of course the flip side is just trying to get us all coordinated. But we're getting practices in, and when we do, it's a lot of fun. Like we all just have a really kind of good dynamic together. I mean, it's more just hanging out with mates than practicing, to be honest. So I'm all down for that. For
the quality of stuff you've produced, I can tell that it's dynamic and fun. It's phenomenal.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I mean, I was introduced to you by the legend that is Jasper Barrett.
Oh, Jasper. We love Jasper.
Who doesn't, Rob? Yeah. Who doesn't? And me and Jamie were toying with the idea of doing a live show, and we weren't entirely sure what we were going to do to like progress us further as well as a podcast. And we thought, fuck it, we'll put a show on. He was like, you need Neptune Rain on your show. And I was like, okay, I've never heard these guys before. He's like, yeah, local. I think you like them a lot. So went ahead and whacked on if that was love. I think it's literally went to Chaos and Light and just went, bosh, I'll have a little bit of this, and went, oh, okay then. That's going on repeat for the next 4 or 5 months. Incredible, absolutely incredible. My other half is really excited to see you guys on the 28th. So,
brilliant.
Yeah. So it was so you were the first guys I reached out to, because I was like, I want Neptune Rain the bill. I just want them on there. So yeah, so thank you very much personally for doing this, for playing for us and whatnot. It's going to be mental. If no one gets a ticket, you're fucking missing out, put it that way.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's going to be a blast, this show.
So take us back, sir. Before the idea of becoming a rock star and a musician entered your head, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, that is a difficult question. I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people who, even now, I really don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm sort of always been a bit sort of chaotic, and I sort of tried things, going, oh, is that going to work? Is that not going to work? So I tend to just kind of go with the flow and see what happens, and just throughout sort of trying things and things working and some things not, I just sort of ended up on this crazy adventure, and suddenly I'm in a band that's getting played on Radio 1, and it's crazy really how it all works out. It's just sometimes there's a lot to be said for, you know, if you don't know what you're doing in life, just try stuff and see what happens. Wing it.
So how did you know that, because you play bass, don't you?
I play bass, yeah.
Yeah, so what made you go, God, this is wonderful, I really love this music scene, you know? Because bassists tend to be not the forgotten guys, but no, like how do I explain it? They always seem to be in the background. Everyone's like, oh, the drummer, yeah. Oh, guitarist, woo! Vocalist at the front. And that's it.
That's it, yeah. oh yeah, there is the bass.
Oh, the bass. Oh, him, yeah.
We always have this joke in the band, actually, that like if you think of all of the sort of big rock bands of like the past sort of 20, 30 years, like you can often name like the vocalist and the guitarist, occasionally the drummer if they're doing something interesting, but no one can remember the bassist.
See,
I get
I'm a Kiss fan, so
I'm
I'm sorted on that one.
There you go. Yeah, actually, that fair play. That is a big exception to the rule. Everyone
Kiss and
knows.
the Beatles, they're like the only exceptions to that rule. So
Definitely.
Are they? Anyway, Ringo Starr.
That famous bassist for the Beatles, Ringo Starr.
So what lured you to bass guitar then? What made you go down? Well, did you do something beforehand, or is it always been bass for you?
Actually, similar to the whole background thing. I'm one of those, and I think a lot of bassists will say the same. I'm one of those guilty people who was a guitarist and then became the reluctant bassist. It has kind of worked out that way because I remember my first band I was in. They were sort of looking for a bassist. And the drummer in the band sort of reached out and sort of said, oh, we're looking for a bassist. Can you play bass? I've never played bass before. It's like, well, you can play guitar, so you can play bass.
It's just two less strings.
And pretty much. And I almost fell into it by accident, in all honesty. Like, I do enjoy playing bass, like, don't get me wrong, but it was sort of one of those things where I then became known as like a reliable bassist in our sort of local scene. So people would reach out and go, oh, we need a bassist for the band. Rob, do you want to have a go? And of course, like I said, I'm one of those people that I'll just sort of try stuff because why not, and I do love playing music, like regardless what instrument I'm playing. So it just kind of sort of happened that way. And a similar thing with Neptune Rain. It was our sort of old guitarist at the time. Our frontman Kieran sort of started the project with Simon, our current guitarist, and they were looking out for a bassist, and they're like, oh, Rob plays bass, and then there I am, sort of in the band, and it's almost just become my thing, and I love it. It's great fun. It's just it's one of those things where I'm not really the sort of person that likes being the centre of attention as well. I quite like being a bit more in the background because then you can sort of step forward when you want to, but you can kind of hold back when it feels right. I like that kind of dynamic.
Oh, nice. So what musical influences have you had growing up then? Have you always been to rock music, or is there rap in there, or R&B, or dance?
Oh, all over the place. Well, I think the big raps always come from side of things, but my we do sort of playlists on Spotify every so often where we kind of show our individual interests, and my music is probably maybe the most eclectic. They might argue with me with that one, but it's all over the place. I'd say probably like my biggest loves are like classical music and heavy metal, which are like, in their way like two completely different sides. Yeah.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, Ollie's a big metalhead as well, actually. So that's kind of where the metallic side comes from.
Okay.
But yes, our tastes are all over the place.
I do love a bit of Mozart on the 12th, the 5th choir, the concerto, and then give me some fucking Slayer as well, mate. I'll do them both, all right?
I remember actually the first time I gave Ollie a lift to I can't remember where we were going. I think we were going to, it might have been the Frog and Fiddle gig we did in Cheltenham, actually. And he hopped in the car. And his only knowledge of me at that point is, I was the other metalhead in the band. So he fully expected me to be blasting like, heavy rock and heavy metal. And I had classic FM on, and he was like, sorry, Grandad.
10 man out on the road, literally looking at the windscreen like
that. Mozart on in the background.
You bloody young'uns!
What are you doing? Blasting your horn.
So when did the band actually start then? I know you say you joined a little bit later on from the beginning, but when did it all begin?
I mean, not long before I joined, actually. It was 2019. The guys were sort of sending each other messages on my band, and there's a little Facebook group that I actually coincidentally co-run called Cheltenham Musicians on Facebook, which is another kind of thing of just getting musicians together for bands. But they were sort of getting stuff started from about August 2019, sort of sending each other messages. And I think they originally, the first official meetup was late September, early October time. And then a few weeks later, they brought me down just to sort of see what they were all doing. We went round to Kieran's house and we're just sort of like writing tunes and things like that. And I was getting involved. And I think instantly they were like, oh, Rob seems to be kind of on the same kind of wavelength. And I quite enjoyed meeting up with them, and it all just sort of organically fell into place.
Incredible. I love it when shit happens. It's great.
It is. It's so rare, but when it does happen, it's such a satisfying feeling because you don't even have to try. It just sort of feels right.
Because I think you struggle to find people that are dedicated to the cause as well. You find people that struggle. They're like, I'd love to be in a band. And then 2 shows like, oh, yeah, sorry, I've got this thing. My hamster's uncle's in town.
Yeah.
So like, I've got to take him to Bellevue, and then I've got to drive back. So I'm not going to make it today. And actually, I probably won't to make it for the rest of my life because I don't really care.
That's what they're all thinking under the surface.
Yeah.
Saying that. No, it's true. It's I think pretty much everyone's been in one of those bands that that's been in bands has had that band where they're sort of struggling to sort of pull people along and the hearts aren't really in it. But yeah, I think with us, because everyone's really passionate about music in their own ways, it's worked really well. And I think the other thing which is quite odd for us is we're all very different musically, so there's always the risk of that kind of creative differences, kind of problems kind of arising. But I think because we're all quite open-minded in our own ways, or at least I think we are. I think because of that, it's always kind of worked out, because even if we're not doing something that's exactly tailored to us individually, we can kind of appreciate the musical merit in it. And because of that, you get like that weird kind of eclectic sound that we've got.
Okay.
I like that. One thing you need though to stand out in the music industry, though, it's a great name. Let's be honest, and you guys have a great name. So where did that come from? Who's the genius gets the credit for coming up with Neptune Rain?
Well, I'm going to credit that to myself, but I would. No, it's we were bouncing it. We did the classic thing of bouncing around names. So we just kind of put together lists of words that we thought worked, and then we're just kind of trying to work out whether it's going to be sort of 2 words or 3 words. And then just meshing things together until things worked out, and we probably went through loads of different kind of ideas. And eventually I don't even know why, but we were just like, Neptune sounds cool. But and it's got a link to Cheltenham as well. So I don't know. You guys are aware of it, but yeah. Obviously got like Neptune Fountain, and the place that we were rehearsing at, the Pirate Studios there, is in Neptune Park. Which originally we're going to have as a band name. We're like, that's far too close to Linkin Park. We can't have that. Yeah. we almost did it, and they were like, no, come on, guys, that's just cheesy. No, but if there's any Neptune Parks, it's like, because we're a Linkin Park fan, it's just a bit too close. And then we're sort of, I was thinking of sort of other words to go with it, and then I suggested Rain. I said, like, Neptune Rain sounds really evocative. And the guy's like, oh, that's all right, we'll keep with it for now, that sounds reasonable, like, let's just go with that until we think of something better. And here we are, like 2 years later, still with Neptune Rain. But I think a part of what sealed the deal was we actually retrospectively, like, because the sensible thing for any band to do, because it's so hard to come up with an original name nowadays, is to just Google your name, because chances are there'll be another band out there with the same name, and we couldn't find one. We did some proper thorough searching, but what we did find is that there's this theory that on Neptune it rains diamonds. And weirdly, this is quite freakish. Like, at the time we were writing a piece of music that just it never really turned into anything. It might do at some point, but it had the sort of the working title Diamonds, because one of the lyrics was diamonds. And we're just like, that's too perfect. So we sort of stuck with it.
Amazing. Yeah, because there's the Cheltenham Neptune's touch American football team as well that I know. Neptune Gin, I think, as well in Cheltenham. There's lots of sort of references to it. There you go. So it just makes sense, doesn't it? So,
and again, the guys not quite as aware of this link, but me being a bit of a classical music nerd, obviously Holst wrote the Planet Suite, and Holst was born in Cheltenham, so you got Neptune there as well. Yeah, it's almost like, Rob, the stars aligned, the planets all, well, funnily enough, the planets all did the exact same thing, and it was all this like meant to be. It's all there in the aura, in the ether
Like,
I like to
yes.
think that. It sounds more impressive than Neptune Rain will do.
Until we think of something better, boys. We'll stick with that for now.
We'll just stick with that one.
So as far as songwriting goes, then different bands have different ways of doing it. How does it work for you guys? Does Kieran write all the lyrics and you guys do the music, or is it a group thing? Or
I mean, Kieran's very much the sort of the soul of it. Like, most of the ideas originate from him. So quite often he'll actually write. Lyrics tend to come later, but he'll usually write a sort of a melody, or even a sort of raw song idea just with programmed drums and things like that. And kind of goes, guys, what do you think of this? And we'll either go, nah, not feeling that, or that's really cool, we could do something with that. And then from then on, we all just kind of go into our own little bubbles. And I think some of this originated in lockdown, because we did have a phase very early on where we were all writing together and just sort of tweaking things in front of sitting in front of Logic. But I think during lockdown, because we couldn't write together, we all started this sort of dynamic where we all kind of do our own little bits, kind of put it into a Google Drive, and then people go, nah, try that, or tweak that, or that sounds good, I'll try doing that over the top. And we just kind of keep sending bits of MP3s and sort of WAV files and IFs all over the place. And eventually the sort of songs come together to a point where we think, okay, that'll do. And we tend to just have to really strictly impose deadlines on ourselves, because it just gets a bit out of hand. You know, you're still working on the same song about 3 months later, and eventually we just have to go, right, we're never going to be completely happy between all of us, so let's just go with this, because we're all reasonably happy with that. And then, you know, we sort of work on it, and then after it's all been mixed and mastered, we look back and go, actually, yeah, that was a good decision. So,
and yet Chaos and Light became it was an EP that obviously you guys released in 2021.
Yeah,
or was it 2020? I know it's around there.
Oh yeah, no, it was it was the end of 2020. So it was a bit confusing, because we sort of re-released it with a few more tracks last year.
I'm so pleased you did.
Just as an extended edition, which is weird, because we call it an EP, but now that with the extended edition, it's technically an album, I think, in terms of length. So we're sort of that was one of those things that we're making it up a little bit as we went along. We'd already released the EP, and we're like, well, we haven't played it live yet because COVID's a thing. So let's just kind of extend the era a little bit and just add some more tracks and demos that we wanted to be on it originally. So that's what that is.
Nothing Left to Save.
I love
Elite,
that track.
Unbelievable track.
I'm glad you like that one, because that's one of my favorites. I think as a band, it's probably one of our least favorites. But
really,
I'm a sucker for that bridge. I love the bridge.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, I've been listening to it nonstop today as well, because, you know, I'm not trying to suck your dick or anything, Rob, but literally, like, I think the way you guys have gone, the style you've got, the sound you have, I think you'll fucking take on the world. I really do.
That's
because
really kind of you.
Start from the beginning was like, okay, let's get into the meaty part of it. You're like, oh my god, the date new metal. It's like 2020s new metal rather than back in the. It's just incredible. Sorry.
That's interesting that you said that, actually, because I mean, one thing we've had a few people say is that it sort of feels a bit throwbacky, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that we're not getting on, but like I think we're most. I mean, Ollie's the youngest, but a lot of us are sort of 30s now. And a lot of our influences are that sort of early noughties kind of sound. But at the same time, you know, we're all musicians, we're all listening to new stuff. And I think that sort of subliminally and sometimes intentionally works its way into our music. So it's, there is a little bit of that sort of old meets new.
It's great. It's absolutely great. So how did Chaos and Light become a thing then? Was it just, we're in lockdown, we can't really do a whole lot. Should we just release something?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we had a plan to release an EP anyway, but the plan originally was to do it sort of slightly more old school. We were going to release an EP and have a sort of launch gig and have a few gigs maybe before we actually released the EP. That was sort of our plan at the start of 2020. You know, we had a few demos at that point, and we were pretty sure of what we wanted the track list to be, even at the start of 2020. And then lockdown happened, and we're like, damn it, we can't play shows now. That's just completely out the window. What do we do? So we decided to do these little lockdown covers, because we thought, well, we can't just release an EP with no one to actually listen to it. So sort of tried to build a little bit of a following online, and we did little lockdown covers, and we made this little thing called NRTV, which is was a sort of show, like quirky show we'd do with like little games between us, and we'd bring friends from other bands on and all that kind of stuff. So that was good fun actually in its own way. It was weird time just because of lockdown, but made it a bit more fun and bearable. Yeah, and then we released If That Was Love sort of I think it was about August, September that year. And it just started to sort of snowball and started doing really well, and we were really pleased with how it was going.
Incredible.
That's amazing. Obviously, does the band that you have now still resemble that same sound when you guys started? Because obviously you said earlier you brought in new members in the group to sort of fill it out a little bit. How much did that change the dynamic of the sound of the band?
I think sonically it's in some ways more similar than you'd probably expect, considering that the members have changed. I think probably because, again, the core is essentially Kieran, but I think if anything, it's got a more harder, like live sounding edge. It's a bit more riffy than it was before. And a big part of that, I think, is certainly like Ollie's influence. He's very much big into his sort of hard hitting, heavy riffs. So if you sort of hear the difference, for example, between Final Round and If That Was Love, it's a bit more kind of, you hear a bit more of the guitars in the mix as well, I think. But I mean, the terms of the whole sort of like rap meets rock thing, like that's been a thing from the start. Our first, when we were first sort of putting things together, as part of sort of starting the band up, Kieran had a demo for All Pain No Gain, which originally was going to be our first single. And that was a little bit more kind of electro world, the original demo. That it hasn't changed an awful lot, but and as soon as myself and Simon and the original members got involved in it, it became a bit more rocky just because it had a band working on it. But it was essentially the same kind of feel.
Love it. So you just mentioned a minute ago, you mentioned Final Round, obviously the song that came out not that long ago now, really. Is this a sign of a new record coming, or is this just we've got a song, let's get it out there?
Can't say too much, but we definitely, we've got a lot of more stuff on the way. There's a few tracks that will be released at some point this year. And yeah, they're sounding big. It's I hate saying this because it sounds so cliche, but every time we release something, pretty much I'll be like, okay, this is the best thing we've done yet, which is good. Like, I think it's good to have that mentality about your own music. As much as it sounds egotistical, it's good to have that kind of feeling of sort of satisfaction with it. And I think, if a song that you're working on is your favorite thing at that point in time, then you're onto something good, because even if no one else likes it, then you produce something that you believe in.
So I feel every single week.
I was going to say, that's exactly how we feel. We do an interview like, that's the best one yet.
So I could never work it out, and I imagine it's probably going to be Kieran, but he raps and sings. But they're just, I guess because it's when it's produced and edited, and whatever else, and mastered and everything else, it doesn't sound like it's him both times. Because I've always wondered who actually does do the rapping in the song, but that's incredible that he does both. There's
obviously a little bit of that on the thing, but you'll see it when we play live. It's actually impressive. Like there have been a few times where we've been practicing where we've gone, no, Kieran, you need to have someone else sing that line or leave that bit out because the transition's too quick. Yeah. But he can flip so quick. There's I think we do a little feature called Kieran Covers, because a lot of people quite enjoy watching his stuff.
Oh yes,
and he's done a few Linkin Park ones, and that's always impressive because obviously you've got Mike Shinoda and Chester Bennington doing the vocals on that, and he'll just go from one to the other as if it's nothing. And you think, you breathe, man, breathe. Yeah. I got to admit, I am a bit of a fan of Kay, and it's always quite cool to be in a band with someone that you actually admire on that level, as well as being a friend. But yeah, no, he does do the vocals for both, and it's quite weird as well because it's sort of almost like a London Linkin Park as well, because he goes full kind of gangster when he's rapping. It's great. In fact, fun story, when we were recording Final Round, it was me, Ollie, and him in the room. We did it in his sort of little studio up in his house at the time, and Plastic sort of like had the booth with the Juve over the top, sort of proper DIY. And he'd just done a take of the rap section for final round. He's like, lads, how was that? And like me and Ollie looked at each other and went, it was good. You know, it was one of his better takes. And then sort of looked at each other again and went, almost at the same time, just wavelength between me and Ollie went, can you make it more gangster? Like, can you just go ham on like the London, I'm going to F you up kind of thing? And he turned around, like grinned at us, put his hood up and just went for it. And that was the take you hear on the record. But it's it was so funny. He just yeah. But it just makes me laugh because he's the nicest guy you could ever meet. So humble, like so kind of down to earth and meek, and yet that comes out of him and you think, bloody hell.
Hello, guys. Lovely to meet you. Yes, it's quite fun. I'm going to shank you up, fam. And it's
that's
really
literally it. That is Kieran. It's so funny. It's like, as long as you're not rapping at me, like we're good, okay?
Please don't serve me, Kieran. Don't serve me.
Can't go over here and you shout, I'm going to shank you up, fam.
Yeah. He was such a lovely boy.
But I did want to mention these Kieran covers because they are absolutely super. When you released The Best of You by the Foo Fighters, I think, yeah, exactly that. I don't think I've ever seen this man react to anything the way he did to that video. But where did was this Kieran just go, guys, I'm going to do covers and stick them on social media? Was this?
Yeah, pretty much. It was, we were looking for features. This was sort of back in 2020. This is probably one of our most long running little social media features. Because obviously we sort of started on social media, just trying to build a fan base during lockdown without the ability to gig. So we're just trying different things, and some things fell by the wayside, some things sort of carried on. And Kieran Covers was one of those that just proved to be really popular. And I could see why, but it was just one of those where it's just like, I'll just try like sort of singing along to a track because it's quite easy to do and to see what people think, and then maybe get people to sort of suggest songs and things like that. And it just sort of caught on. It's just almost got like a little regular following, and you get the same sort of people coming back to the post to see what he's done this week. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's easy for me as well because I don't have to really do much. I just whack it on social media. It's like every so often I'll be like, Kieran, you done anything new yet? We need something new. And he's like, all right, yeah. But it's no, it's good. It's good fun, and it goes down really well.
Yeah, his Bon Jovi as well, always a couple of weeks back, is also incredible. Like, just great.
And again, I think it shows how eclectic we are as well, because initially we were just doing rock covers, and I think we all kind of agreed, like everyone knows by this point that we're just absolute massive music nerds who love all kinds of stuff. So just if you want to do a pop cover, just go for it. Like, you know, we're not cool. We're not cool people. So I
can imagine a Rob covers is just like yeah.
There was talk about us all doing little bits at some point, so it might happen at some point. Just
do it, please do it.
Piano covers,
on the bass.
Yeah.
1 week it's Beethoven, the next week it's Primus.
Yeah. Primus is great.
That'd be so good. I would so watch that as well. But then Kieran should do something like he did, like I think he did Justin Timberlake this week. Yeah. And then he should go and do something like, I don't know, I've completely forgot the name of the artist now. Oh my God. Who did Fuck the Police? NWA.
Yeah. Oh, he would love that. I'll have to let him know that. I reckon he'd be well up for that.
But it literally would just be beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it's social media. Just get cancelled from the internet.
Police. Beep, beep, beep.
Zuckerberg just sitting there going,
why, you little?
I'll get you soon. Why is it raining in Neptune anyway? What's going on over there?
What's going on over there?
How do they even know it's raining in Neptune? Does it have weather? Do we know if it has weather?
Can we buy out Neptune yet?
Yeah. You get to Neptune. Welcome to Cheltenham. What the fuck? Ow!
I don't think Zuckerberg didn't know what to do with himself. He got stuck in Cheltenham.
I kind of want to see that as like a docudrama, just Zuckerberg in Cheltenham. Especially during race week. Can you imagine that? What is going on?
Yeah, round the one-way system.
Yeah.
Just wide-eyed at everything.
Zuckerberg stuck on Boots' corner.
Amazing.
So, as I've said before, you guys are joining us May 28th, Scruffy Murphy's in Birmingham. First off, thank you so much for joining us. It means the world you actually doing this for us. But obviously, the show is all about raising money for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what your thoughts, feelings regards to the foundation and Sophie's story. Have you had any experience with the foundation before?
Not direct experience, but it's definitely something that I've always been quite passionate about. Like a lot of my friends, sort of goths, and I mean, it's just always been a story that I've sort of, I think relate's probably the wrong word, because I've sort of growing up, I was always more of a nerdy kid. So it was, you get back in the day with all the cliques and things, you all get bullied in different ways for different things. But I think it was just the feeling of just relating to outcasts and people who are a bit different is, I think that's the reason why the Sophie Lancaster story really sort of transcends different people and different groups of people and just kind of brings people together. And certainly recently with Sylvia's death, I think it's become almost been brought back into the light, because obviously she was pushing to sort of bring it back, and I don't think anyone really saw that coming.
No.
It was that was I mean, I was literally listening to her on, I think it was the Jeremy Vine show about a week before that all sort of broke, and it was tough. But it's definitely been a story that I've always sort of connected with a little bit, just because a lot of my friends were kind of in that position and were bullied at school, and just being a rocker as well, like into that kind of genre of music, it's just like, why is that a problem? Just if you listen to different music and just dress a different way, it's such a sad story, but it's so important because it does just it sort of serves as a case study and just keeps it in people's minds that people are like that, and do go out and just attack people for whether it's race or gender or whatever. It's always an issue, so it's worth bringing up.
I like that. I think that's very important to mention. Okay, Sophie's story is she got bullied and beaten because she was a goth, but it is that it's being different.
Yeah,
no matter what that different thing is, prejudice against someone for being different is bullshit and should not be happening in 2022. It's ridiculous. But
it still is, and that's why I think it'll always be an important story, and what it's always worth constantly bringing it up and it just being there. And I think it's good as well, because it's sort of has an input on specifically the metal community as well, because I think that every community of people has its problems and has its sort of discrimination, because probably the more nihilistic side of me says that there's probably always going to be an element of that just because of how people are, but I think just having that sort of that example and that kind of reminder that it's okay to be different, and also just to kind of respect people's differences and that be a good thing to be celebrated rather than something that's discriminated against. It's just good to have that for people in the sort of goth and metal communities, just to have that pinnacle. Because another thing as well is, like, a lot of the people in the sort of goth and metal communities are very much like, oh, we don't like the mainstream, we don't like what's going on over there, so they'll often miss the kind of anecdotes that are similar to the Sophie Lancaster Foundation from those spheres. So having the Sophie Lancaster Foundation around it's kind of almost like a reminder for those groups who are a bit outcast themselves, not to outcast their own as well.
You've put that so beautifully. Yeah, like Rob, I don't think I want to even elaborate or touch that now. That's like gold. Yeah. That is absolute gold. That could just live. That could just let's just let resonate for a little bit. Let's just let that sit and just what a moment.
I mean, I think you guys are both into sort of similar kinds of music, but you've probably seen it yourself, where it's kind of weirdly, sadly ironic how quite often that is the case, that the more outcast people, because they've been bullied themselves, they almost become the bullies sometimes. So just having that kind of reminder that use compassion rather than that turning what's happened to you against other people.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone could say anything any better than that, to be quite honest with you. But of course, like you mentioned, Sylvia unfortunately did pass away a few weeks, probably about a month or so ago now, I think it was. So we're now going to obviously, of course, we're celebrating the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, but this show is now also in her memory, and we'll be celebrating her as well. Unfortunately, the foundation could not join us for the gig on the 28th. They're at a festival, but there will be some little surprises in there. We will saying nothing else other than just you need to come down Saturday, May 28th, because it's going to be unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. And 4 great bands at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot
more
of fun.
could you want? But Rob, I ask this question to every single musician we ever have on this show. I ask them every single time. Music videos, love them or hate them?
I love them. I am one of those people. I love a sort of visual accompaniment to music. Sometimes it feels forced. Like I've definitely, like back in the sort of MTV days, like you'd watch a music video of, and I'm going to realize the hypocrisy of this because we've done it as well. But where you have sort of 4 guys in a room playing instruments, and it just seems to be that's all it's about, and you think, well, there's no story to this. Like, what's it doing? But I think as long as it feels like there's a reason behind it and it kind of sort of absorbs into the aesthetic of the band, then it can work really well. I think I'm a sucker for a music video with a story, but I feel like sometimes that can be forced. So
when you did the video for Final Round,
yeah,
and it's in a little container.
I knew you were going there. Yeah, honestly, the reason for that, not necessarily to tick any boxes, but a big part of that was we wanted a music video that just sort of put forward the fact that we were now a 5-piece. So up to that point, like our first, I don't know if you've seen the music video for If That Was Love, but that was done during lockdown. So that was all green screen. That's a fun one, actually. I'm not sure if Kieran's going to like me for saying this, but actually when you watch the music video for If That Was Love, that's just Kieran. Because he was the only one with the green screen. So he put on little hats and little things and just watched our kind of movements when we play and then just mimics it. So you're actually just seeing lots of Kieran there, but it looks like me, Simon, and our old guitarist Ross.
That's amazing.
That's incredible. Fair play.
It was funny because initially he was just like, shall I scrap this or do you think it's, and I was like, no one will know. Like they'll honestly think it's us. So there's a bit of a spoiler there. He'll probably hate that now.
I can't tell if that's dedication or lockdown boredom gone way too far.
It's a bit creepy, actually. Like, how did he get you've been watching me play bass far too closely here. Like, that's a bit weird, man.
I just got this image of him watching live videos of you guys and being like, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, just a little bit left.
Next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to prove how much I can do that. I'm going to play the fucking lot of you in a music video.
One-man band moment. Next time I go over, he's just got like drums attached to his hands. And
rock up to the live show, that big massive bass drum on his back and then cymbals on his feet or on his head or something like that as he starts walking.
Yeah, he'll walk in. It's like, where's the rest of Neptune Rain? Oh, fire them. Like, don't need him.
Yeah, it's me now. Left arm is the bass, right arm is the guitar.
That's a fantastic mental image, I'm not going to lie.
Have you guys to do that now as a laugh?
Have you guys played far out of Cheltenham?
Yeah, so it took us a long time to actually get a gig because even after lockdown was easing a little bit, we sort of had a few things sort of penciled in, and then this was back when it was sort of a bit hit and miss as to is it safe to play, is it not safe to play, and we had a few venues that weren't able to host us and a few that sort of we dropped out ourselves because we weren't comfortable with whether it was safe or not. But we our first gig was in Leicester, so we went all the way over to the Shed in Leicester. That was good fun. And then basically had a whole stream of gigs all over the country for a couple of weeks, just little venues just supporting other bands. We did a few in London, did one in Poole, obviously did Fiddler's Elbow in Cheltenham. And yeah, it was good fun. It was good to kind of have a bit of a tour where it wasn't sort of one after the other, but it was close enough that it felt like a tour. And this is obviously, we don't have a van at the moment, so we're all in convoy, and that's always good fun as well, sort of racing each other down the motorway.
Is there much around Scruffy's to park at? Or is it going to be like let's just park and carry?
Park and carry, probably. We've done a lot of that, but again, that's part of the experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some of the venues we went to, there's sort of parking right outside, and then other ones you park sort of 2 miles down the street and sort of throw things into the venue, then find somewhere to park, and then be paying through the roof for parking. But that's all part of it. It's you gotta, if you get a gig, you got to go for it, and especially when you're playing like famous venues like Scruffy's and. I'm obviously, for us, like the Fiddler's Elbow is a big one as well that we'd all kind of really wanted to play at. And for me, the Frog and Fiddle, because I love that venue. I've played so many gigs there over the years. So just bringing my band over, that was always a good feeling. So
it's like a sanctuary, the Frog. I used to go there so much, and it's like I don't know, probably one of the only things I really miss about Cheltenham now, to be honest with you. But it's the problem I find now with places is that there's not really a lot of places for like the alternative community to really go anymore. Yeah. It's all so mainstream, and not that's an issue, that's a bad thing, but like, can we have something too?
Just like for us, it's there is something about that. And I just love the atmosphere of the Frog, the fact that you can go in and you can just sort of have a pint or something and then just wander around and there'll be a band playing and you go. So I've done it a few times where just with the barn out the back there, where I've just gone to socialize with mates, and then you kind of hear some music in the background, go, that's really good. And you put your head around the door and go, and there'll be a sort of Ollie standing there and he'd be like, how much is it to get in? And then you end up watching a band and you weren't planning to. So it's good fun.
There's been some great shows there over the years as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So for anyone that's listening to this now and they're sitting on the fence about coming to the show on May 28th, what can they expect to see from you guys live?
We give it everything. It's exhausting. I mean, this is partly when we did the last sort of run of shows. It was a lot of fun, but with the travel and just how much we go for it on stage, we got some good reaction from it, and we had a lot of fun. But it absolutely destroyed us. So we're trying to spread them out a little bit more now. But you will have us 100% going for it, because that's just what we do. So it's lots of high energy. As Ollie puts, beans, all of the beans.
All the beans, not just a few of them. We'll have
that's his pep talk before every gig. We'll just be stood around and sort of like, let's do this. He's like, beans, all of the beans. I want to see all the beans.
It's crazy because we're obviously going to introduce. So we're trying to think of really creative and fun ways to introduce each band. We're not going to tell you what we're going to do because we've already sorted yours out. But we need to find some sort of way that we can indicate when people are ready. But it's going to be good fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to throw some comedy bits in between, because obviously the show realistically isn't really going to pause or stop. It's going to flow the entire way through, because if it's not a band, it's us. So it's going to be great.
You can't cut bits. You can't go, oh, Rob was annoying there, so we'll cut him out, because it's live. So
exactly. Yeah. It's like, for some reason he talked about beans and he talked about a lot of Mozart and driving like an old man. So
cut that out.
That's going straight out. We're not having that in there. No. We like a whole bit of no holds barred, a bit of just like in the raw, as they say, just have it all out there for everyone to see. So we just want, what we want most of all is for everyone to fucking enjoy themselves. You've got 4 unbelievable bands. It's going to be a great night. And you've got us as well hosting it. But we want to just raise like £100 million for these guys. Like, we just want to make so much money for this incredible organization that have been so beautiful and wonderful enough to affiliate themselves with us. Fucking, their funeral. No, I'm joking. It's just, I just want it to be amazing. I just want everyone to have fun, enjoy it. It's going to be great. You've got Neptune Rain, you've got the Mighty Wraith, you've got Death as a Girl, and you've got Second Cities. What more could you possibly fucking want?
What more could you want?
Exactly.
Come down. Do it.
It's going to be great. But as you mentioned, obviously with lockdown and stuff like that, have you really missed playing shows? Obviously, you did say to run recently with London and Leicester, but had you really missed touring?
I mean, even between now and then, we've missed playing. There's just that release that you get live that you can't get from anything else. Like, lockdown was fun when we were doing all of the little sort of shows and just coming up with all these crazy ideas and things, but it's just not the same as being with your mates and just playing the music you love and playing it for people who are enjoying it. It's just being there to entertain people and having fun at the same time. There's just nothing like that, and it's always such a difficult thing to describe to people, but it's just such a special feeling. It's so good.
I can imagine when fans sing your lyrics back at you as well. Must be insane.
Yeah, I don't want to give too many spoilers, because obviously you'll be seeing it sort of for the first time. But we started doing this thing sort of during just before our song Rise, where we get the audience to count in. So and that, I remember one time because it wasn't intentional originally. It was going to be Ollie shouting it, because that's what it is on the recording. He shouts 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we all kind of go in. And there was one gig where we'd done, this was back when we were doing our big run of gigs, he'd completely fried his voice and he was really worried about it. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? And it's like, we'll just try and get the audience to cover as much as possible. And we sort of like indicated it to them and it just went down really well. Just like they went straight for it because it's so easy to do. It's just like the audience are like, yeah, let's do it. And then it just became a thing now. So it's just like we just get the audience to do it. And it's, lots of that kind of stuff, kind of interacting with the audience and getting involved. Might bring my wireless kit as well, getting the audience. That'd be fun.
Yes, Rob. Yeah.
I've said it now, so I've got to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away because like I am quite looking forward to watching you guys. I don't really want to know what's coming. So
I'll keep it there then.
But we're literally going to do the exact same thing. We've got some surprises up our sleeves and we're going to keep them with us as well. So I think it's just going to be a very special night. We're hoping it's a success. We're hoping it's a success because obviously we want to take it on the road. So we'd love to fucking do the exact same thing and start going up and down venues, playing charity shows, for these guys. But I mean, take 4 bands, for example, say the bands we've got now, and then just go around the country. Just doing this, because that's the dream.
That's
Rob.
the dream.
That is the dream. The 28th, we want to make it. We just want it to be special and amazing. We want it to be a success so that we can go, this sounds like a good idea to tour.
Yeah, it already sounds good to me. I'm sold, and we're only kind of hypothetically thinking at the moment. So yeah, that'd be if we can get as many people coming, and everyone gives it their all. We're certainly going to give it everything we've got. Then if nothing else, it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
But I'll stop banging on about it now because we banged on about it enough. So sorry about that. We're supposed to be about Neptune Rain, not about the show on the 28th. You know what I mean? Sorry, Joe.
We come to the show on the 28th anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I was just going to say, for those who are listening to this who have never heard Neptune Rain before, is there one, maybe 2 songs you'd say, go listen to that? That is Neptune Rain. That is what you can hear from us.
Well, naturally, I'd say it because it's recently come out and I'm still listening to it quite a lot. But Final Round, biggest reason because it's the first song that we all collaboratively wrote. So Joe, our drummer, who we originally trialed him out with the first gigs, and we just slotted in with him so well that we got him on board, and he had a big hand in writing that. So that's our first song that's just definitely all of the people that you see on the record. That's us, and it's just a lot of fun and my favorite track at the moment. Beyond that, how many songs do you want me to pick?
2 or 3, why not?
2 or 3. Rise, I think, because it was my favorite song up until the point we released Final Round. And also it's really upbeat, it's really positive. And I think a lot of our songs have a very sort of strong mental health lean. But obviously because of that, it can be quite it's very introspective, but can be a little bit sort of bleak at the same time. Whereas Rise was one of those that we knew we wanted it to be at the end of the extended edition, because it was just uplifting. Like we've gone through all the sort of catharsis in terms of the lyrics throughout the EP, and we just wanted that sort of but there's hope at the end. It's always nice to end it with hope. A lot of my favorite albums have that kind of feel where it's just sort of going up and down, and then you just got that kind of little positive thing at the end just to kind of put you in a good mood. So.
Love it. Everyone go check them out.
Yeah.
You need Neptune Rain in your life. I can't explain or really truly describe. You just need to listen to them to really just feel it. I literally could sit here and go, they're amazing, they're incredible, blah, 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 blah. But that's really easy for me to do that. I think you just need to go and listen to Neptune Rain. And as Rob said, go to Final Round first and just soak it in. All right. Soak it in. Just take and then take a moment. Just take it and go, oh, right, okay. I think I'm ready to go for round 2. It's almost like an orgasm. All right, that's what it's like. It's like, but like
I'm putting that in. I'm referencing that one, like 2022, almost like an orgasm. We'll have that. That's all right. That's quite a good review. That
after every song, you feel like you just gone. Oh, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Oh, just
I'm gonna need a minute, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fagging it in bed.
I don't think you can get a better endorsement than that.
There is no better endorsement. We peaked. We'll have to give up now. We'll have to hand in our thing with the band. That's it. We peaked.
Oh, you fucking dare!
We've got a gig to play yet. We can't.
Exactly. No, just don't.
We can sack it off.
Yeah. As I said before, I just see if you keep going the way you're going, the world is your oyster. You'll go, man, you'll just fucking take off and fly and be. I just think there's something about you guys that just makes me want to go. Everybody right in the world right now, just listen to this band because they will blow your mind.
Thank you. That's really kind of you.
Not at all, dude. It's just, it's from the heart, Robert. This is how I feel. So
other than obviously our show we've got coming up, what else have you guys got coming up for plans for the future? Is there any other shows you got lined up? Anything coming out that you can talk about?
So can't talk about too much yet. We've got a few shows penciled in, more towards the end of the year. Not so much over the summer yet, actually. I think it's one of those where we just, certainly individually, we've all had quite a lot going on with house moves and various other things. So just trying to kind of pin things down at the moment. It's been a little bit hit and miss, but we got stuff on the way in terms of shows. And then the big thing really is music. We've got some really solid stuff almost ready to go now. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to releasing that. And so there's more of the same basically. And we're just going to keep doing things, keep trying things, keep adapting and just see where it takes us and just enjoy the journey.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Mr. Stevens, have you got any more questions, my friend?
When Neptune Rain first started out, did you ever think that 3 years on, this is where you guys would be, being played on Radio 1, having music videos out, the EP doing so well, flying around doing really well, that sort of thing?
Never in a million years. Like if you'd have told me that we'd be on Radio 1, I'd say you're joking. That really did come out of left field. That was a beautiful present for us. Big up to Alex Holcomb for that. That was far too kind. But it's been amazing. I remember our first play on BBC Gloucestershire. It was just phenomenal because I'd never been in a band that had been played on the radio before, let alone like a BBC station. And it was just. It's crazy, and you do have moments like I think we're all kind of our own worst critics sometimes. Where you think like, do I really deserve this? Like, is this right? But I think the music speaks for itself, and we're very proud of what we've put together. And we just appreciate everyone who sort of checks us out, and whether you like it or not, just for checking us out and listening to it, it's fantastic. We really, really do appreciate it.
Amazing. This has been so much fun learning all about the band I'm on, and we're so excited to have you guys play at our show. It's going to be amazing. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're so excited for it. It's going to be great.
But before we let you go, sir, we like to play a little game with our guests if you're willing to partake.
Of course. Slightly nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
It's called the quick fire round. We ask you 5 questions and you answer them as quick as you can. It's as simple as that.
Okay. All right.
You're going to know the answers because it's all about you.
Okay.
Right, nice and easy first one for you. Nice and easy one. What's your favourite pizza topping?
Mushroom.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
We can only choose one topping, can't we?
Yes.
My go-to pizza is actually pepperoni, mushroom, and chicken.
Really?
Yeah, it's a weird combo. It's a weird combo. But
I wouldn't say it's weird. It sounds delicious.
Sounds
it's great.
Sexy.
It's the fact that out of chicken, pepperoni, and mushroom, you went for the vegetable.
I had to answer quickly. That was the first one of my things that came to mind.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, Rob.
Which is weird actually, because you'd think you'd answer in alphabetical order, so it'd be chicken. But there we go. Mushroom was the answer.
Do people do that?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's you. Maybe it's just
I'm going to go back and listen to some of our older episodes now and find out people are answering alphabetical order. I'm intrigued.
Because if you got like a duo or something that's sort of something that's usually together like apples and pears, you'd sort of say apple first, wouldn't you? I don't know. Maybe I'm talking rubbish.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something here.
Maybe
Psychology. Look at it. Yeah, you never know.
I like it. If you were to have a time machine and got the option to go forward in time or back in time, which one would you go with?
Forward.
Really?
I guess because backs happened. That's a weird one as well because I'm a historian. So I think it's because it's unknown. Like the backs behind it, in the past, we generally know what's going on. Apart from when you get to sort of prehistoric periods, but I think there's that just sort of like I wonder where we're going to be in the future because it's all just speculation, isn't it? Like you don't know what's going to happen next. Like if you look at sort of all of these sci-fi films from the 70s and stuff, like a lot of the stuff they predicted was spot on, and then there's things like no one would have guessed that smartphones would take off. So it's
yes, yeah, fair.
What was the first ever concert that you went to?
Probably first like proper big band. Like I went to a few little sort of my mates' bands and stuff in pubs. Probably the big one would be Evanescence.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
I'm going to see them November. I can't remember them scheduling that many times.
I might be a big fan.
Yeah. Yes, I'll be there for
great
that.
band. Yeah.
If you were to have a movie made of your life, who would play you?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really difficult question. Oh God. Do they need to look like me or just sort of just anyone?
They can if you want to, but you can have whoever you like.
I don't know. Because I often get the common one I get is I look like either Shaggy Doo or Tom Petty. I prefer Tom Petty. That makes it sound nicer. But,
what's weird is I can kind of see it for both of them.
Yeah. Well, Tom Petty's dead, so that's the hard.
Well, back when he was alive, I mean.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like, we'll go back in time and have Tom Petty play me. I'd love that. That'd be really cool, actually.
Great.
Macaulay Culkin?
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
He's a hero. He's great.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll take that.
And he has a band,
my ego. I like this.
Yeah, so is it.
And last but not least, if you were to get in a time machine, go back in time and give one piece of advice to young master you, what would that be?
Just be braver and take more risks. I think one thing I've always struggled with is had a little bit of anxiety disorder, and I think sometimes that's held me back. So sometimes I'll be kind of slightly wanting to take a risk and just gone, no, I can't do it. So just try things and just be brave. I think that's probably what I'd say.
Nice.
I love that.
Rob,
I like that a lot.
This has been phenomenal. I've loved every single moment. This has been great to learn all about the band, because I am a big rapper of you guys and I only wish you every success.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm really excited for you guys on May 28th. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to the whole show in general, but I'm looking forward to watching you guys.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the other bands, actually. Like, I've been checking them out and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Obviously, it's kind of weird because we've got 2 bands from Birmingham and 2 bands in Cheltenham-ish. I don't know where are the guys at? Where are they based?
Our guys in Neptune Rain.
Yeah.
All over the place. So Joe's from Newport. Simon's so over your way, and then Simon's from Dursley, and Ollie's from Kidderminster, and then me. Well, I'm from Tewkesbury, and Kieran's from Cheltenham, but obviously originally from London, hence the angry rapping.
Yeah. That's insane.
Wow, you really are all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. So it makes sort of practicing fun sometimes, but it's worked really well for us.
Wonderful. But before we do let you go, Rob, there are just 2 more things we'd like to request if that's okay. First and foremost, any social medias, plugs, anything you want to put out here at all for people to go check out?
Well, the big thing, if you want to find us anywhere, go to weareneptunerain.com. That'll give you all the links that you need to our sort of merch store and gigs coming up, all that kind of stuff. It's all on there. But yeah, pretty much any social media, just type in Neptune Rain or We Are Neptune Rain and you'll find us pretty quick. And yeah, we're on pretty much everything. So go check us out.
Love it. By the way, talking to your merch store, your T-shirts, the designs and everything are stunning.
Yeah, they're cool. Shout out to Make North who designed a lot of those. They actually designed our original logo as well. We're sort of back and forthing a few ideas with him, and really, really pleased with how that came out. And we stuck with him because he just gets our style and what we were kind of going for really well.
Love it. But this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us today. It absolutely means the world.
It means the world to me too. I've had a lot of fun today. It's been really fun.
Rob, have a wonderful evening, sir. Enjoy the rest of. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
You too. Have a fantastic weekend, and can't wait to see you.
No, Hubert. Take
it
easy,
very
buddy.
much, man.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Is this thing on?
Well, howdy doody, everybody. This is Braden Berry from Say We Can Fly, founder of Stay Cozy Clothing, your one-stop shop for the coziest, most fashionable hoodies, t-shirts, and more.
Gosh, Mickey. That's right, folks. And we're proud to say that we are now sponsoring
the Chronicles of Podcast. Ouch.
Hosted by Tom and Jamie.
Like, you can get 10% off, man. That's right, Shaggy. Just use the special code, The Chronicles, at checkout.
Oh, boys. Oh.
Absolutely wonderful. And I've got to say, Rob gave two of my favourite answers to anything ever. Comedy-wise, his answer for the quickfire round of who would play in a movie. Absolutely pissed myself. Loved it. And the way he articulated his answer about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely magnificent. So we're very excited to have Neptune Rain aboard. We are loving the fact that we're releasing an episode each week of the bands that are playing at the show on the 20th of May. So we're quite excited by that as well. Rob was just an absolutely genuine legend. So lovely to sit down and talk to. Like Jamie said, very articulate the way he answered. And his explanation for Sophie Lancaster Foundation was absolutely out of this world. So Rob, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you taking the time out. And we really hope that you guys enjoyed listening to it as much as we did recording it.
Hey there, I'm Frank Guglielmelli, and I'm the narrator for the audio drama Feed, featuring such audio dramas as Bounty Hunters, Marty and Mars, Val Toby, and so much more. You can find all of these wonderful programs on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Or you can go to our website at www.audiodramafeed.com. We are thrilled to be affiliated with the Chronicles of Podcast with Tom and Jamie.